Here are 7 things you might not know about Gerry Turner. The first season of The Golden Bachelor premiered this fall, and America immediately fell in love with the first Golden Bachelor, Gerry Turner. Fans immediately became invested as soon as the first episode aired. As Gerry's Golden Bachelor journey concludes next week, we're going to go over some things you might have not known about the 72-year-old. Starting with number 1 is that Gerry has a big lion tattoo on his shoulder. I'm sure we saw a hint of some ink in the hot tub makeout scenes, but in case you didn't know, it is in fact a tattoo of a lion. The tattoo was inspired by his work ethic, and the lion image came from a poster. He told USA Today, quote, "Every day in Africa, a lion wakes up knowing that it must run faster than the slowest gazelle or it will starve. And every day in Africa, the gazelle wakes up knowing it must run faster than the lion or it will be eaten. It doesn't matter whether you're a lion or a gazelle. When the sun comes up, you better be running. That was my philosophy," end quote. Now, second, before going on the show, Gerry got advice from former Bachelor Nation leads. Gerry talked to the very first Bachelorette, Theresa Sutter. Now, Trista's been married to the winner of her season, Ryan Sutter, for 19 years. Gerry told USA Today, quote, "Trista told me, Gerry, don't look for the woman that you can live with. Look for the woman you can't live without. I kept that thought at the forefront for the show and it worked out," end quote. Now coming in at number 3, Gerry used to work in the food industry before he retired. He was a restaurateur. According to his LinkedIn, Gerry's work history is long and prolific. He has worked for Mr. Quick Restaurants, Kenmore Foods, John Morell and Company, Thomas Prosler Company, Ruggers, Sbarro, King's Food Service, and Rock River Provision. Safe to say that Gerry sounds like a foodie to me. Number 4 are about Gerry's turnoffs. Yes, he even gets the ick too. Gerry mentioned 2 of them. He says number 1, he would never date a smoker, and lastly, he's looking for a person who lives in the Midwest. Number 5, Gerry found out he landed the Golden Bachelor lead via Zoom. He was informed by the show's host, Jesse Palmer. Gerry's 2 daughters convinced him to apply for the show. Gerry told Variety that his daughters and granddaughters are genuinely excited and thrilled about him being the Golden Bachelor. He also said, quote, "My granddaughters have had guests to my house since this all started, and they pick their friends that are big fans of the show," end quote. Now, next up at number 6, Gerry Turner is detailing what the vetting process was like when it came to the requirements of becoming the Golden Bachelor. Gerry took a sexual health checkup for the very first time. On Justin Long's Life is Short podcast, Gerry said, quote, "I was actually traveling with an old girlfriend, we were just friends, and I got a call from ABC wanting me to initiate the process to go get an STD test. That may have been my very first STD test. I had no idea what was gonna happen. I didn't know if they were gonna look in the iris of my eye, take a urine sample, or a blood sample. I had no idea. Did not know," end quote. On top of the physical checkup, Gerry had to endure a background check as well. Gerry said, quote, "I had to send my fingerprints to the FBI. There were numerous background tests. There was a psychological evaluation that was like 360 questions, and then another hour of interview. The vetting process is ridiculously thorough," end quote. And lastly, at number 7, Gerry had watched about 7 or 8 seasons of The Bachelor show, but he was not always the biggest fan. He said, quote, "I kind of felt bogged down in some of the drama. Some of it looked a little out of place, maybe not organic. That was something that moved me away from being a regular viewer," end quote. But thankfully, while watching the show, he noticed a casting call seeking older contestants, and now the rest is history. Make sure to comment your thoughts down below. What facts surprised you guys? The Golden Bachelor 2-hour finale airs Thursday, November 30th on ABC. Also, if you need a refresher on what happened this season during the Thanksgiving holiday break, make sure to check out Shared News' recap videos where we break it all down. Once again, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay up to date on the latest news here at Shared. I'm your host, Hiba Berry, and thanks so much for watching.